Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org. This is PBS Reno Arts. I'm Dave Santina in the studio of PBS Reno in Reno, Nevada, and I'm sitting across from Tracey Oliver, Executive Director of Sierra Arts. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you here. It's the 25th anniversary year of the Riverside Artist Lofts. In 2000, I worked on a documentary about the Riverside being turned into these artist lofts. We got to see the reconstruction, the demo, the rebuild, and then the artists coming in. Last podcast we did with Martina Young talking about her appearing there. She was the first tenant, and she's still there. And so now, with 25 years behind us, I wanted to invite you to come talk about where Sierra Arts is today versus back then. I mean, you haven't been there the whole time.
No, I haven't, but it feels like it some days.
But you've gotten almost half of that time.
Almost.
Right? You were there.
Well, before 2017, when I became the ED,
yeah.
I had been there about 3 years prior to that.
Yeah, so you've gotten a good 11 years in.
Good chunk.
Yeah, dang, that's pretty solid. So out of 25, that's pretty good. So you've seen some changes. And at the time, it's funny, I went back and looked at a video from This Is Reno, the digital news source. They were talking to you about the job you were taking on. One of the things you had talked about, you were really looking forward to, was the Arts Integration Program. And I believe that's still going strong, right?
It's going.
Still going.
Maybe
not as robust.
Well, I think we know more, so we know now where we need to head, and it's such a bigger project than we even thought we were capable of, but it really is the cornerstone of what we're aiming at.
So what are you aiming at?
Well, I'm sure you understand and are well aware of how important arts and culture is to a community.
I do think so, yes.
Absolutely. I mean, it gives a community flavor, personality. It allows us to be empathetic with one another. But something that's oftentimes overlooked, it's the depth and importance of arts education. So basically, for anyone that's not in the know, arts integration is combining a core subject matter with an art discipline. And a real easy way for anyone to absorb this is, we all know conjunction junction, what's your function?
Yes.
And we can remember it 45, 50 years later because we learned it through music. And the same holds true for any kind of art and learning. So I know that the heart is made of 4 valves because a teacher in 4th grade handed me a lump of clay and told me about the clay, how we were going to fire it, what tools to use to model it. But I was also learning we were going to model the heart. There are 4 cylinders. And I remember because of that intersection of art and learning.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned the conjunction junction. I remember going back to being a kid and watching sitcoms, watching Happy Days. Do you remember Happy Days?
Oh, absolutely.
Patsy Weber learned about the heart because he made up a song about it, and I still remember that song.
Absolutely. Well, you see how strong that form of learning is.
Yeah, it works.
So we're trying really to set the Washoe County school kids, Northern Nevada kids, up for success by introducing this method of learning. And what we're aiming at is, having a pilot school where we take them, 3rd up and just show how we can really affect the scores. It's not a matter of memorizing something till Friday when you get the test.
Right.
It's knowing it 40 years later. You can memorize anything. Recalling the information is the hard part. So that's where the art plays such a strong role, and something we're kind of missing out here.
Yeah. So do you have any measurements of this over time? Do you bring that in to show how people retain better?
Well, nationally there is data that you can find that, but we have really struggled here in Northern Nevada to capture data. That hasn't always been the arts and culture's strong suit, is proving our point. We all feel it, and we're such passionate creatives that we figure if we tell you passionately how important it is, but other folks want to see the data.
Yes.
So that really is one of the things that we're working towards at Sierra Arts.
Okay. So that's only one element of all the things that Sierra Arts does.
Oh, gosh.
So how do you introduce to people who just meet you for the first time what Sierra Arts does?
Well, everybody walks in the door and thinks we're a gallery or maybe a couple galleries.
Because that's what they see right in front.
Exactly. And that probably is what gets the most play, in marketing and PR. And we do operate a couple great galleries, the Depot and Sparks on Victorian, and right downtown Reno, the Riverside Gallery. But beneath that, there is layers and layers of work. The arts education programs, and one of the first and foremost things is our support of local artists. So we thought to ourselves several years ago, all these things are so important. Arts and culture is so important, but unless you grow those artists or the appreciators of art, you're kind of left, in the dark.
Yeah.
So we concentrate a lot on making sure that the emerging artists have the professional development that they need, and that students have art in their daily lives, and also that businesses recognize how important it is to include the arts in their business models. So all of these things are happening constantly at Sierra Arts. Events, community programming. We try to take a look at what the community needs and then jump into those meetings and showcase how an artist can better that situation. A recent example, well, maybe not so recent, Sparks had a great parking lot, but no one could find it. We're like, hey, you slap a beautiful mural on that.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, follow that mural that Eric Burke did. That's where the public parking is. So it's just ideas like that. How can the arts affect the community for the better?
Nice. I like it. And this has more or less been the organization's approach, I think, from the beginning. But have there been changes over the last, I'll say, at least 11 years? But maybe if you know all the way back to the beginning, about how things are done, or the focus for Sierra Arts, has it shifted over time?
Well, I think the shift really is in something I mentioned earlier, which is data collection. When they first started, there wasn't data collection, and I think that everyone, rightly so, thought in the beginning that just providing art was good enough.
Right.
Having an art experience, going in and painting with kids in school, or doing theater, and that is great. That's really important. But there's so much depth that was being missed. Not understanding how art engagement affects the brain. Now we have that data that shows that your brain fires quicker, faster, all the things if you include art, and not just as a maker, but as a viewer, as a silent participant. If you go to theater, if you go to music concerts, those things are happening for the viewer as well as the musicians. So while we're trying always to create more artists, we just want more appreciators of the art and to give them the knowledge. Why? Why are you enjoying it? Why is it better for your family life, for your community, for your neighborhood? So those really are the changes. We love providing art for art's sake, but there's deeper reasons. And sharing that deeper knowledge is so important. We are over at Jan Evans, which is, any longtime Nevada resident knows, it's jail for kids.
Right.
Or it's where I went the first time I did a double-digit speeding boo-boo at 17. They took us over to Jan. You got the lecture. Yeah, it was intense. Well, we're there with the kids, and there's real crimes have been committed. Real mistakes have been made in the plan, in their life plan.
Yeah.
And recently, one of the prison guards said to us, do you realize that this is the first time these kids have received A's and B's? And it really struck me because, what you experience from school makes it or breaks it. Do I want to go back?
Right.
If I'm always wrong, if nothing I'm doing is producing an A, which is the benchmark, but with art, it's just a matter of participation.
Yeah.
It's the trying that gets you the A. And they're receiving credit towards high school graduation, and they're receiving acknowledgement for their efforts. And really, isn't that what any of us wants in life? So we're really doing some great work out there, and our programming, department and our program director have just made some huge strides in those ways. And that one, to me, along with a couple of the other programs we do, are really, the crown jewels of what's happening at Sierra Arts right now. We love our artist receptions. We love coming in and sharing that with the public. But, that work at Jan Evans or the Elder Care Concert Series, which is, it's like 20 years old now, but we take musicians into senior and memory care facilities. And Dave, literally people who may have not talked for a week are suddenly singing along.
Amazing.
It's amazing. One of their, what did they call themselves? The fun managers over there. She said, this series is the only time when a family member can come in and just hold hands, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure to communicate with one another. It's a shared enjoyment of the music that's touching that person's soul, that resident soul. And triggers things that I certainly, as a non-scientist, I can't explain it.
Sure.
But suddenly they're verbal again. They're communicative. Their light is back in their eyes. And that's what arts and culture does at these huge levels, but at an everyday level. I mean, when you're in your car and you suddenly hear a song that just makes you happy.
Right.
Or you witness something on TV and you laugh for no reason at all.
Right.
This is the arts, and this is the effect it has on us. It's profound.
It is. You are making the case for the value of the arts, which I imagine is happening more and more all over the place as people are now scrambling for what is less of a pie when it comes to funding. How does is Sierra Arts handling that? Are there still the same funding sources that you've had? Has that changed? Do you have to look in different places? What's the status there?
Well, funding sources are leaner, and especially if it was a federal funding situation. And some of our brethren and our partners really were affected hard. We were in a better position. We've always had the mindset of the three-legged stool. So it wasn't always just grants or just tickets or just donors.
Sure.
We tried to break it up. And our building. Thank you to those executive directors in our history that secured the Riverside building for us. They really helped us out. But our staunch donors are still there. Our membership is still there. People that appreciate the arts, they double down. They're like, we're not going to let you get hurt. We're here standing up for you and speaking out for you. And those, there are political officials that are really mindful of how important the arts are, especially in a state like Nevada, where, we don't probably have it as much in the North as they do in the South, but people come to be entertained in Nevada.
Yes.
Outdoors, indoors, in a theater, music, concerts, whatever it is, this is kind of the brand of our state.
Yeah, it sure is. And, even way out in the middle of the desert on the playa.
Oh my gosh, 1 week away.
Is it really?
1 week.
Oof. All right. At the time you hear this, Monday, it's Monday the 25th, I think. We are recording on the 20th, so it'll be the week of Burning Man.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, and we love that, and we're out there supporting it. Our friends out there making art. Reno is so lucky because we get everything that Burning Man brings to our community, but they're coming and going before and after. They're participating in our community. It's a great thing. I love it.
Yeah. So with your three-legged stool, do you have to lean harder on any of the legs right now, or are they pretty balanced?
Well, I do think we've leaned heavier into events. We're trying to create experiences for people, and that's also, walk the talk or talk, whatever the saying is.
Walk the talk.
Yes, we're trying to give them those musical experiences and making them ticketed events, and we can share with the artist that is performing. We can build that into a venue stream. So, there are events. People like to go and experience things.
Sure.
I think it's harder to sell art right now.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, so coming in and buying art in the gallery, that's become a little bit of a harder prospect, but they do want the experiences. So we're leaning into experience.
Nice. So with that in mind, you've got a few coming up. I want to make sure we have time to talk about those upcoming experiences and those opportunities for people who might be listening. What would you like to highlight?
Well, gosh, we have our biggie coming up is Dinner on the Bridge, which we have many things coming up. Dead Artist Ball is September 27th, which is going to be kind of a party
That sounds
situation.
It sounds almost like a Halloween event.
Kind of. Whether you desire to or not, dress up as your favorite dead artist. I have my purple sequin outfit already picked out, and that will be at Whitney Peak, and that's going to be a blast with lots of music, it's the cool kids.
Nice.
That's going to be what, the frame of that is. Dinner on the Bridge, rather, comes up right after that on October 4th. We shut down Virginia Street. And how many times do you get that opportunity to be on Virginia Street, no cars, have a plated, beautiful dinner that is being hosted by Caesars?
Oh, wow.
With all the art events also, and art to witness, art to purchase, music. That's a blast. We launched it last year, and it was just gorgeous.
I remember, and it's a unique experience. I say this not from personal experience, but having seen footage, that it's kind of a surprise to see dinner tables set out
Right.
over the Virginia Street Bridge.
Right.
And I think that it makes it notable and memorable, and certainly worth the effort. So this is a fundraiser.
It is.
So you have obviously tickets for dinner and the experience of being there. Are there other items there you're also auctioning, perhaps?
Oh yeah, there's raffle items. And it's all art related.
Okay.
I take that back, Dave. We've got generous donations from the hotels and casinos around our community, so they're always willing to share nights out, dinners
Right.
out, experiences, ski packages and whatnot. So it's art and experience heavy, but there are a million things to do. I just say come down and enjoy the evening. I mean, it's literally sunsetting on the Virginia Street Bridge with a beautiful dinner.
Oh, stunning.
It's gorgeous.
So music is part of this.
Music is part of it.
I realize it's October 4th, so maybe you're not all settled yet, but do you have musical performers lined up?
I think they are lined up, but I hate to release their names because I'm not 100% sure.
Fair enough.
Now, we have another little situation at Sierra Arts that happens quarterly, and it's called the Candlelit Sessions, and this is all local music. And when I say candlelit, I mean candlelit. Hundreds of candles in the gallery on the Riverside with an intimate experience and the band right there. So that's another ticketed event you can find on the website. Yeah.
And that sounds more limited in terms of
It
tickets.
is. I think that they're going to let maybe 80 people into the
Right.
into
So
the
it's
building.
an intimate experience.
Intimate.
Which is, there's something special about being in a small room with a small crowd, experiencing a live performer. That's special.
It is. And that's another thing I'm glad you bring up, because you have an opportunity in Northern Nevada to witness local art, whether it's music or theater. You have the opportunity to purchase local art. And when I say these things, all of them, you can know the artist.
Yeah.
You can shake the hand of the musician that you love. You can purchase and bring home a piece of the soul of that painter or the weaver. You can go and talk to Mary Bennett over at Brooka after she delivers a stellar performance. I mean, it makes the hair on my arm rise at how many opportunities you have to really be a part of this art scene.
Yeah. We're very lucky
We are lucky.
to be in a place like this.
We are lucky.
It's true. I will rep the Candlelit Sessions a little bit. I looked ahead, and I see that on November 15th is the next session, at least based on the website that I saw, and it's the House Plants. I don't know the name. I listened to some of the music. It's pretty good. I enjoyed them.
It is. We actually have on October 10th, Silly Little.
Oh, okay.
And we had to reschedule them for building reasons not too long ago. And then, yes, Houseplants on 11/15. And on 12/13, so December 13th, Whitney Meyer, which our community loves.
Yep,
Whitney.
everybody knows it's Whitney. Now it's Whitney Meyer Arroyo.
That's true. I've known her a long time, so I forget that last
Right.
part.
I only know it because it was on the site and I wrote it down.
Oh, you're so good.
I don't pretend to know everything. I am just copying from the best. And so this is all coming. Hopefully people engage and enjoy these events. You also have a whole network of artists who are part of Sierra Arts as members.
Yes.
Can you explain how that works?
Sure. And this is another thing that's changed over the years with Sierra Arts. Membership used to be anybody who wanted to be a member. You didn't have to be an artist.
Okay.
Well, we kind of thought let's focus our efforts on members who are artists, and we can provide professional development. So 12 12 months out of the year, we bring someone in that could possibly elevate an emerging artist's career. We seek out opportunities 24/7. We maintain an artist roster on our website that allows people to kind of go and pick their artists. We will sit down and help you grant write, fiscal agent work, you name it, and we try to provide it to our artist members. We highlight them, through our PR and marketing. We try to always include a random artist in what we're doing, what they're doing. We share it without charge, and it's really reasonable. I mean, $50 a year, you get all the perks and none of the hassle.
Yeah, what's the term? Membership has its privileges.
That's true.
That was the old American Express commercial.
I might have to borrow that one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They might be done with it. I'm not sure.
I bet they are.
I'm not sure. But I won't say anything if you take it. That's fine. So you have members, artists, members. Do they also contribute to developing the other members? Do some of them participate as mentors?
They participate in everything, especially our teaching artists. So, school just started.
Yeah.
You should see it looks like a chemistry lab has exploded as far as how we're getting all the teaching artists into the schools. The teachers, the school teachers ask in, the early spring, hey, can I sign up? And it has just boomed. I mean, we can't keep up. In fact, we had to kind of cut it short because we just didn't have the resources to put in every classroom. So they're out there doing that. They get first opportunity at anything that we do, our artist members.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's a great demand for them in the schools. So that's
exactly.
great to know.
Oh, there is. The school teachers really understand how important it is.
Yeah. They're the ones, the boots on the ground.
That's
they
right.
see the kids.
That's right.
So they see how it affects them.
Right.
All right. So one last thing before we wrap you up here, I want to ask about volunteer opportunities. You started as a volunteer, right?
I did, in the basement for 3 months, locked away, sweeping and storing and cataloging, and then just boom, 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 worked my way up. But there's always volunteer opportunities. At any of our events, of course, our brouhaha volunteers are, they're legion, and they are committed for decades now. I think we're going into our 27th year with brouhaha. Wow. I know,
really?
It's crazy. And we have an artist village there now, which, we started since I've been there. So we have 60 artists that show up to have fun with the beer
Wonderful.
And sell you art and showcase.
I know it's not in the immediate future. When is the next event?
The Nugget hasn't told us a date, but it's always late January, early February, those last weekends.
So keep an eye on the website,
yes.
right?
Yes.
SierraArts.org?
Yes.
Okay. And so if I wanted to volunteer, what would I need to do?
Give us a call. That's also on the website, volunteer opportunities. You can call us on our phone number, which is also on the website. You can leave us a message on info or admin at. And or pick up the phone. All of our cell phones are all on all our business cards. So
nice.
You'll get us right away.
Nice. Okay. Where do people follow you on socials?
Oh my gosh, I knew you'd ask that. And I am the worst. We just had a staff meeting social media class. Sierra Arts, Instagram at Sierra Arts, same for Facebook. I mean, you have to just check a little bit. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at that.
You know what? I think that's fair. I would have just searched it that way anyhow.
Thank you.
It'll show up.
Thank you.
If you want to find it, you'll find it.
I am Sierra Arts. I know that's a hashtag that we use all the time. So
all right, just look for hashtag I am Sierra Arts.
There you go.
It'll get you to the right places.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right. Hey, thank you for coming and talking about all of this. I appreciate being educated about just the vast effort that Sierra Arts puts on to bring the arts to all of us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks
Wonderful.
for having me.
Ah, my pleasure. All right. Before we go, I want to remind everybody to watch Artifacts on PBS Reno. That's via broadcast or streaming on pbsreno.org or the PBS Reno YouTube channel or the PBS app. Also, read art views at pbsreno.org. Now, if you have a question or maybe a comment or a suggestion, send them to me at pbsreno.org, podcasts at pbsreno.org. My thanks to Tracey Oliver, and thank you for listening to PBS Reno Arts. Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.